Well, guys, I am clearly not in Florida anymore. I am back in our house in the boys' room, and I have quite a bit of explaining and updating to do for you guys. Also, side note, if you can hear Miss Rachel in the background, I have Lily out in the den over there. I'm gonna close the boys' door just a little bit more so you don't have to listen to that. Don't think you guys want to hear Miss Rachel's voice mixed in with mine, so let me close the door a little bit. Okay, so as you can see, we are no longer in Florida, and that unfortunately means that I did not get any footage of Lily and I's trip down in Florida. I got the few clips you saw in the beginning of us making our way down to Florida, and then unfortunately I got so sick. But I promised you guys in my last video that I would give you guys an update on this Dr.Care baby monitor, and I did go ahead and use this on our trip. So I did want to give you guys my review and recommendation of this product, and then I also wanted to give you guys a verbal update of our trip, and I figured I would just like throw some pictures up so you guys can kind of see what we did when we were there. But when I say I got so sick, I have not been that sick since probably
I got COVID back in December.
I'm like 98% sure when we were on our trip in Clearwater, Florida back in December around Christmas time that I got COVID then. And I have not been that sick this past weekend as I had been since then. So I don't know if I had COVID, I'm not sure what I had exactly, but I was on my deathbed. But even though I was so super sick, I did go ahead and give this product a go. So before we jump into the full update on how our trip went, I wanted to give you guys a little review on this Dr.Care baby monitor. So I did wind up taking some unboxing clips. This box here is empty because I did wind up leaving the camera down in Florida because it's going to be our new like travel system when I'm down at my mom's house. And I wanted to leave it there so that if my sister ever traveled to go see my mom and she forgot her baby monitor, we just always had one there. If my mom ever had to babysit my sister's baby walker, I just wanted my mom to have a camera at her house, and I decided to leave this one here because I really enjoyed it and it was super easy to use, and I figured it would make the most sense for my mom to have the easiest camera of the ones that we have. So I did take a few clips of an unboxing. I took a few clips of like what the picture looked like while we were down in Florida and me just using the camera. And I have to say, this is my fourth baby monitor that I've tried. I've tried one Wi-Fi system and then two other Bluetooth systems and then this one. And out of all the baby monitors that I've tried for traveling, this one has to be my new favorite. The one standout difference between this camera and all the other ones that I've tried is actually the picture on this thing. Let me back up a little bit. In the box, when you receive this camera, you obviously get the baby monitor. You also get the physical monitor that you hold, as well as all the necessary cords and information for you to go ahead and set up your camera and physically use it. Everything is nice and packaged separately within the box, which I really enjoyed, especially when taking it down to Florida. For the first time, I just threw everything in my suitcase out of this box, and the camera was packed nicely that I did not have to worry about getting damaged on the travel down there. So that's a little note to have about that. But in terms of the physical camera, I really like the shape of it and how it is set up. It also has a nightlight on the bottom so that if you do have older kids or you do just need a nightlight while traveling, whether that be in a hotel room or at a family member's house, and you don't have one, it's all in one right here. So you kind of get like a little twofer. You get a baby monitor and a little nightlight for the room. And then you do get the physical monitor itself, and it's a nice substantial sized monitor. It is not overly bulky. It's not overly thick. It is a nice crisp white baby monitor with a beautifully sized screen, and then of course all the necessary buttons on the side that give you the functions of like raising the volume, turning it on and off, perusing the settings on it, zooming, all that kind of stuff. You get all of those buttons nice on the side, but the physical picture portion of the baby monitor is nice and big, which I like. And you can use multiple cameras on the monitor. We just have the system with the one camera, so I just had one picture on the monitor, but you can connect two separate cameras and have dual pictures, which is nice to know if I wanted to ever purchase a second camera for like the boys if we ever traveled anywhere and I needed to both see Lily and then the boys. I could get two cameras, set them both up, and have both pictures displayed on one monitor, which is really nice. So quickly reading off the back of the box, giving you guys some information on this camera. You get a 2K HD camera with a 1080p screen, which, like I said, it's a nice size screen, and the clarity and the picture on it was really nice as well. You get timed night light and white noise, so you actually can use this as a white noise machine if you didn't want to travel with the whole gamut of camera, nightlight, sound machine. You can actually have it all in the one product. It does have night vision, which I really like, and the night vision was nice and clear and crisp. It wasn't grainy at all, and I felt like I could really see Lily and what she was doing. It has the normal sound and cry detection. It gives you the temperature and the humidity at the top of the screen, and you can toggle between Fahrenheit and Celsius. And then as well for the time, you can toggle between time zones, which I really liked. And it has a smart motion detection and alert zone. So obviously if your baby is moving or if someone enters the camera space, you get alerted and you can see that. Again, dual monitoring. You can also use your phone. It is a Bluetooth system, but you can download an app, I believe, and use your phone for that. You can turn the Wi-Fi off and obviously have a privacy mode. What is nice about these kinds of cameras where you have the physical monitor and they are Bluetooth, it is a lot less likely that they're going to get hacked, and especially when you're in like hotels and places where people can access different Wi-Fi systems and they could get into your baby monitors. It's nice to have a physical Bluetooth monitor, which just gives that extra safeguard of no one stalking your baby in the middle of the night, because you never know what's going on in the world around us. So that's a little overview on what this camera provides. Camera, nightlight, sound machine, beautiful picture, color, night vision, all that kind of stuff. But for me, the standout that makes this system different than the other ones that I've tried is the picture. I wish I took a side-by-side comparison between the other baby monitor that I have and this one. I love this one because normally I have to use a floor stand system, which you can get a floor stand through Dr.Care if that is what you want, to help get a bird's eye view of your baby. But normally I always have to use that to look down over the crib or pack and play to be able to see the baby. The width of the picture on the Dr.Care one is so wide that I actually was able to just set it on top of the tall dresser next to the pack and play and then angle the camera down. You can angle like up, down, side to side. You can move it around with the monitor itself, so you can get like a good view of what's going on without actually going in there and moving the camera. But I was actually able to just place it onto the dresser, and it gave such a wide sweeping view of the pack and play and the space around it, which is nice because when I go, if I ever had to use this for the boys, I like that I could just set it up on a dresser and get a good view of both of their beds. Other baby monitors, I feel like it's so squished in, like what kind of picture you get, what kind of snapshot of the room. I really like the wide expand space of this camera. So that is like my top difference between this one and the other ones I've used. But again, I love the nightlight feature. I love that you can use like white noise through the piece itself, and again that it's a Bluetooth camera. The monitor is super like lightweight. It's a nice white color. It's not bulky. It looks very like modern. I really enjoy it. So this is obviously my new favorite baby monitor that we have, and again, like I said, I left it with my mom so that she had a nice user-friendly baby monitor, and then both my sister and I can get use out of this thing because I really enjoy it. And we were actually looking at hers as well compared to this one, and she really liked this as well. So thank you to Dr.Care for sending this over my way. I highly recommend if you are a first-time mom, if you're not even a first-time mom, and you just like need a good travel system, need a good Bluetooth baby monitor camera, I highly recommend this one. I will have it linked down below and all the necessary information for you guys to go through and shop. And like I said, you can get a floor stand if that's what you want. I will also link the floor stand down below for you guys so you guys can shop that. But this is going to be added to my new list of like recommendations. I always get asked, both between you guys and like friends and people who get pregnant in my life, because I was the first one out of all my friends to get pregnant. They always ask me for recommendations on baby products, and I can without a doubt recommend this one to them now. So I'm really glad that I have this one. I'll also link their socials if you guys are interested. So that's my little take on the Dr.Care baby monitor. But quickly jumping into a little recap of our trip. Like I said, I wound up getting really sick, and Wednesday night I was kind of tossing and turning all night long, and I didn't know if it was a case of like I was jittery and nervous to travel with Lily and going out of town and leaving the boys with Harris. You know how you get those like pre-travel jitters the night before you take a flight, and I had to wake up super early the next morning at 4 o'clock in the morning to travel with Lily. So I didn't know if I was tossing and turning because of that, but I had like a tiny little tickle in the back of my throat. And then on the airplane I had the like air and the fan blowing on me because I was so hot having Lily as a lap baby, and she fell asleep on me, and I didn't know if that had dried my throat out. But Thursday night after I got to my mom's house, I really started to feel achy and not good at all, and Thursday night into Friday. I was up all night, literally choking on my uvula. I do not have tonsils, so whenever I get any kind of sore throat or I'm sick of any kind and it has to do with my throat, it always goes to my uvula. And I was literally choking on my uvula all night long. It had gotten so swollen and my throat hurt so much. And all day Friday, I basically could not eat. I DoorDash Chloraseptic mouth lozenges. My mom works at a Sprouts and she got me a bunch of like throat numbing stuff, Manuka honey, little like straws and lollipops and things to help me soothe my throat. Friday, it was the absolute worst. My sister had come in on Friday and I felt so bad. I just like slept on the couch for much of the afternoon waiting for my sister to come. It was so bad. My glands weren't even that swollen. It was like the roof of my mouth and my uvula hurt so bad. And by Friday night, the body aches were horrible. I definitely thought I had a fever. I didn't physically take my temperature because I didn't have a thermometer. But Thursday and Friday, I felt terrible. Friday, my mom had to go into work and she actually got me a little immunity shot. And I wish I took a picture of the exact one that I took, but it had like cayenne pepper in it, turmeric, black pepper, a whole bunch of stuff in it that made it really spicy. And my sister and my mom and I took those, and I swear the spice of the cayenne pepper singed every last germ that was on my throat, and I actually started to feel better Friday afternoon. Saturday, I wound up taking another immunity shot and I started to feel much better, and then come Sunday, I did feel maybe like 80% better. And then we flew home on Monday. We really didn't even leave the house. We stayed in for that entire weekend. My sister wasn't feeling good coming into the trip, so we were all just like needing my mom's care. My mom wound up making some chicken noodle soup for us and baked ziti. She really took care of my sister and I, and it was nice to just veg on the couch with the kids. Little Lily was so cute with Walker. Every time he cried, she would say, "Baby, no, no." She wanted to like tickle his toes. We got the matching pajamas. That was really cute. And all in all, for me and my sister both not feeling great and me being like really sick, it was actually a really nice trip because like I said, we didn't do much. We kind of just vegged on the couch and hung out and had that like mom-sister bonding time. My sister's baby is now 5 months old, and it's good to go down there every few months, and she loves to ask me questions, and it's nice to like look back on how Lily was at that age and how the boys were at that age and compare our kids and just like give each other like the mom advice that we need. And so although I was deathly ill during my trip, it was a really nice trip. And then Monday we flew home. We had to go to the country club that night for Rosh Hashanah. Tuesday was Harris's sister's birthday and we celebrated that and Rosh Hashanah just as a core family here. And then Wednesday the boys had off of school as well, and unfortunately the boys started to not feel good then as well. Jack came down with a little bit of a cough that he's kind of been nursing over the last few days. Harris wound up getting sick after me on like, what's today? Maybe like Wednesday, Thursday, he really started to not feel good. He's finally on the up and up. I'm hoping Jack is on the up and up, and I'm hoping nobody else winds up getting sick. We did give Harris a COVID test, but it was an expired COVID test from years ago and it came back negative. So I don't know if I had COVID, but I know the strain that's going around now is called like the razor blade throat COVID. So it's possible that's what I had. Harris also had extreme body aches and a fever and a sore throat. So who knows what I had, but that is why I wound up getting 0 footage on my trip to Florida. But the travel home was not a full flight, which was nice. Lily and I were able to get a whole row to ourselves, and I was able to like sit her on the seat and have her like play and entertain herself. She did take a little bit of a nap on me, and funny enough, I actually had an old sorority sister sitting across the way. I think she was already graduated and out of my sorority by the time I joined it, but she and her husband looked so familiar that I spent the next 24 hours after getting home searching her and finally figuring out who it was. I knew it was someone I followed on Instagram, and funny enough, one of my sorority sisters flew back from West Palm to Long Island, which I thought was really funny. But that is a little update on my trip. That is my little review and recommendation of this product. Again, I will leave it linked down below if you guys are interested or looking for a new baby monitor system. I highly recommend you give this one a go. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in hopefully a much more entertaining next video. Leave some recommendations down below of what you want to see from me. And with that being said, I'll see you guys then. Bye.